Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Christy. I'm a reseller on Poshmark, Makari, and eBay, or welcome back if you've watched me before. I'm going to be doing another ship with me video today, and I'm going to kind of do it like I did last time. I really like the chatty aspect of it, so I guess you could call this a chatty work with me, a chatty ship with me video. I've seen Common Tags do these type of videos before where she works, but she also has like a topic. And that kind of came to me earlier when I was thinking on it, and I'm like, that sounds like a really cool video to do. So our topic today is if I could give any new resellers advice, what advice would I give? I've actually thought of doing this video before as like a separate one, but I kind of like this idea better of doing my shipping and talking about this topic. I'm not like as seasoned as other resellers are. As of this August, I will be reselling for 2 years, but I feel like I know enough to kind of give advice, especially for a reseller that's just starting, that is very new to it, or that is thinking about reselling. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Poshmark has been popping the past 24 hours. I have made 5 sales, which is, well, it's not unheard of, but it's just not something that is normal for me. The last time I shipped was yesterday, because today is Wednesday, and I did, so technically this is Tuesday's sales and today's sales, so I guess you can kind of say it's been 2 days. But yeah, some good sales. Also, I've noticed that a lot of people are like looking at, outerwear and stuff like that. It's, as of right now when I'm filming, it is March. So, weddings are coming up, proms coming up. So if you're a reseller and you're wondering of what to source right now, definitely dresses and just outerwear things, because they will definitely be selling right now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And all these are Poshmark. I have not had any sales on Makari or eBay the last couple of days. It's been kind of quiet over there, but yeah, I'm glad that Poshmark's doing good. Okay, so the first sale I wanted to show is actually my best sale out of this lot. I have 5 sales to show today. This was a brand that I had never heard of before, but I will say this is a brand to look out for. I guess you pronounce it Chloe Kristen, if I'm not mistaken. But this is a long maxi dress. It has a collar. It has some buttons on it. It's like a Henley style. And it also has a wrap with it. And I'm going to probably insert a picture of it. And again, I'm sorry for the awkward angle. We're just going to go with it today. And eventually I might come up with like a better process of doing this, besides like having my back turned to you guys. But this was given to me from my mother-in-law, and I didn't really know what it was, but it just feels very, like, just, you can tell it's made from good material. So yeah, after research, realized this is like a $300 dress, and it sold today. I had sent out an offer to her of $60, and she let it expire, and then she sent me an offer today of $60, and of course I accepted. I actually have one that's already open, so let me grab that one. So yeah, $60 after fees and everything. I made $48 and no cost of goods because it was given to me from my mother-in-law. So yes, great sale. Okay, so if I could tell a new reseller, like the first thing that I would kind of tell a new reseller, and I guess this isn't really advice, but more of like information, is that being a reseller, your sales are going to be up and down, and that's probably something that maybe you have heard if you've done your research and watched YouTubers that's talked about reselling. Is reselling clothing and shoes, even reselling anything in general, it's up and down. Your sales can be up and down. That's just part of sales, I feel like, just because everything's seasonal. Maybe you heard, or maybe you have not heard, there's something called a summer slowdown where sales just tank, really. I mean, they don't tank, but they definitely slow down, just like it says. And during that time, of you know, sales slowing down can kind of be discouraging, especially because you're putting time in and you're putting work in, but you're not seeing sales. So I'm going to try to fold this really quickly. Okay, I went ahead and folded that off camera just because it's a pretty long dress. And I was having difficulties folding it up. I'm just going to take the little sash that goes around, and I'm just going to make sure it's ready to be shipped, and I'll fold it and just put it on top of the dress. But yeah, so that's the first thing I would say. If you hear a noise, there is a helicopter flying over us right now, and it's pretty loud. Wow, that is very loud. My goodness. Yeah, we live very close to a army base, so we get that a lot. Okay, so yeah, that would be the first thing I would say to any reseller, is just kind of expect there to be slower times, and times where you're not making sales. That way you don't go in with any like very high expectations of making like an income that's going to be like, okay, I'm going to make so and so, you know. It's just not always like that, and that's kind of the risk you take by getting into reselling, is your income fluctuates, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's the first thing I would say to a new reseller. And then the second thing I would say is, when you're first starting out, and this may be obvious just because this is with any business, but when you're first starting out with reselling, just keep in mind that it takes time to get going, and it also takes money. And something that was very helpful, and I've mentioned before, for my business specifically, let me grab a box for this. And I'll probably reinforce this box with some tape off camera. But yeah, so, you know, when I first started out, what helped me was my mother-in-law gave me a lot of clothes to resell. So honestly, she probably given me thousands of dollars in inventory over the course of the past almost 2 years. And that's really helped me build up my business and not have to put as much money into it as, say, someone that just buys all of their inventory. I know a lot of people, they start out with, you know, buying I can't think of the word right now, but buying a lot from like a wholesaler, I guess you could say. Also, this dress is being shipped to Georgia, which is pretty cool. I'm from Georgia. But yeah, so starting out with, you know, all the clothing that my mother-in-law had given me really helped me to grow the business without having to put, you know, as much money as someone that's just putting in money, you know, like having to start out from nothing. So I would definitely say, if you're starting out and you really want to start selling clothing or selling shoes or whatever, start with what's in your home. If you can get rid of the items in your home that you're not using, that is a great way to start. Getting clothing from a family is a great way to start also. And yeah, so like another thing that I said that takes when you're first starting out is time. And you're going to spend a lot of time in reselling and not really see the fruit of that labor at first. So yeah, it's that type of, you know, job where you have to like put in the time and you don't really get paid for it. And that's with any business that you start out at first. So the next sale I wanted to show you guys is this pair of Polo Ralph Lauren pants. This is just men's pants. And they're a blue corduroy. I've had these listed for a really long time. Like when I listed these, I was expecting them to do just like so much better than what they have. I don't know if it's just because corduroys for men is just not in style. I don't know if it was the size of them. I don't know, because Polo Ralph Lauren is a good brand, but they've just sat for a really long time. I received an offer today of $22 and I was ecstatic just because I have had these for so long. So yeah, as soon as I got that offer, I accepted immediately. This is still a brand I feel like I would pick up. You know, like Ralph Lauren is a very good brand. It's just that, yeah, specifically these did not do well for some reason. I'm scratching off a couple of places of where like they've set and it's just caused some markings. Yeah, so the next bit of advice I would give to someone that's wanting to start out reselling is don't put all your eggs in one basket. And that may be something you've already heard from a reseller before, but take it from me take it from someone that kind of went through the whole issue with Poshmark last year, and Poshmark just completely failing a lot of resellers. I mean, a lot of resellers were not making money at all during, like, I'll call it the crash, but it really, they were not crashing. They were just messing with the algorithm that caused a lot of buyers to like lose sales. If you're new and you don't know what I'm talking about, that's basically what happened. They were doing testing and changing the algorithm on Poshmark, and because of it, a lot of people were not making the sales that they had before because people could not find their stuff in the search. That's just kind of like making the longest story short. So yeah, going through that and seeing how, you know, a lot of resellers had to basically go out of business because of it, kind of put it in my mind, definitely do not put your eggs all in one basket. And that's why I do resell on 3 different platforms. I resell on Poshmark, but I also resell on Makari and eBay. I did not start out on Poshmark. I actually started out on on Makari. And so Makari is a platform that I've thought of letting go, but every time I say like I'm not going to sell on there anymore, I end up making some sales. So I keep Makari around. So definitely don't put your eggs all in one basket. Kind of have, you know, different have different places that you sell on, just in case. Don't like rely on any platform, just because every platform goes through changes, you know, new leadership, new ideas, and you know, they go through changes. So just to be on the safe side, I would definitely say have multiple platforms, and a good way to do that is to cross list. And the best way to cross list is to use like some kind of software. I know a lot of people pay for like Venmo and stuff like that, but you can just use Flip, F-L-Y-P, Flip Cross Lister, and it's completely free. So definitely recommend that. And that's the way that I have been able to cross list on 3 different platforms easily. I used to do it all on my phone, and it was some work. But I've been using that cross lister for over probably about 8 months now, pretty much almost a year, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So yeah, these sold, I don't know if I said, for $22. I made $17.60 after fees, and I don't think I sent a shipping discount, but $17.60 all profit, because those were also given to me from my mother-in-law, which is awesome, awesome, awesome. To have no cost of goods on something. And a lot of these you'll see were no cost of goods. Okay, so the next item is this pair of red 100% linen. Are these 100% linen? No, they're a linen and rayon. This is just like Liz Claiborne. This isn't something I would pick up normally, like in a thrift store or anything. But my mother-in-law gave them to me, so of course I listed them because they are a linen blend. That makes them more desirable. And they've said no one's had any interest in them. But, you know, linen is a great material to pick up in, like, the springtime and, like, the warmer months, because it's, like, a lighter, cooler fabric. And, yeah, people love their linen. So, these sold. I received an offer, actually, of $15. Of course, I accepted because I wouldn't feel like I would get any more than $15 for these. I could be wrong. And after fees and everything, I earned $12, and had no cost of goods, so that was completely profit. $12 for these, which is awesome because I did not put much time in them. I didn't do much. I didn't have to do much research. The pictures were pretty simple. So yeah, very thankful for that sale. Okay, so still trying to get this pair of pants ready. I had there's like a little knot in it, in the little drawstring that I'm getting out. So yeah, don't put your eggs all in one basket. Definitely. I feel like that is such a good piece of advice. And it's definitely one that I have taken from other resellers, and I'm thankful. Because even though like eBay, for example, seems to be like a platform that a lot of people are intimidated by, I'm actually pretty thankful that I started on there, because even though I don't get the craziest amounts of eBay sales, it still has helped on weeks where like I wasn't getting any Poshmark sales, or Poshmark was being weird, or Makari was being weird. So I would definitely say, like, if you're thinking about starting on a certain platform, just do your research and just try it out. Try it out, because you never know, it might be help, you know, to just have different sources of like your revenue from different platforms, not just Poshmark, because I know Poshmark is like the most popular one, and most people start out on that one. Because it is easy. It is very easy to resell on there. Try not to have too many subjects right now, but one thing I need to try to get done this week, I'm going to try to start tonight if I see that I have time. I do need to still cook supper. We call it supper here in Georgia, but a lot of people call it dinner. I still need to cook dinner. And, but I needed to, my inventory is a mess right now, because I was trying to find, one of these dresses, the last dress, or the next dress, I'll show it next. I could not find it. And I was rummaging through all of my bins, and my bins were already disorganized, if I'm being completely honest. It's something that I've been needing to take care of. So I might start tonight reorganizing my bins, because I have not did that since before the first of the year. And they're pretty messy. Not messy, but just a little disorganized. So yeah, those are going to California. And the other one, the pair of pants, California as well. I'm not surprised. Like I said in my last ship with me, I get a lot of California sales. Is that just me? Okay, so the next topic, I mean, not next topic, but the next piece of advice that I would give like a new reseller is to make sure that you take out the time to do your research. I remember when I first started out, I listed a pair of Hoka One, or some people call them Hoka 11s, whatever you want to call them. I had listed a pair of those because my mother-in-law gave them to me. I was like, oh wow, these are a cool pair of tennis shoes here, you know. I had no idea what they were. I just assumed they were just, you know, a pair of normal tennis shoes. So I did not do research, because I had not really heard. I had just started. Like, it was like one of the first things I listed. And I had not heard to do like comps and to do your research on things and see what they're selling for. So these were like almost a brand new pair of Hokas. And I listed them for like $30. And of course they sold within hours. And then after months, you know, of not even months, maybe a couple of weeks after doing more research about brands and everything, I was like, oh my goodness, I just sold, like, those pair of shoes probably could have sold for like at least $80 to $100. And I had listed them for $30 because I had not done my research. I was not running comps on anything. I was just kind of listing what I felt like was a fair price. So that's a big bit of advice that I would give someone starting out, to make sure that you do your research. So the next sale I hadn't even showed you yet. It is this Calvin Klein blouse. It has like a little tie around the neck. I'm not going to try to show that. I could not find a stock photo of this, so I don't even know how this tie goes around the neck, but it's new with tags, Calvin Klein. Don't even know what this retailed for, but I feel like new with tags, Calvin Klein, I will continue to pick it up if I can get it for a good price, just because this did have some attention, and especially like the outerwear for Calvin Klein, and the dresses, the career style dresses, they do really well, so I highly recommend picking them up. But this sold for $16. That was an offer I sent out. And after fees, and I believe I sent out discounted shipping on this too. So $10.78. Again, another one given to me from my mother-in-law. So that was all profit. Awesome, awesome. Very thankful for that sale. And so yeah, going back to look up your comps, know the value of your item, and do your research. It's worth your time, because a lot of times you can get a lot more for something than you think you can. So that is a piece of advice I would give anyone starting out. There's so many YouTubers that do videos of what brands to pick up and how to run comps and how to see the sell-through rate. And maybe right now all that information seems pointless. Maybe you're just saying, okay, I'm just going to get some stuff and sell it. Just keep in mind, everything sells, but not everything sells for a good amount. Like you could sell like a normal t-shirt for probably like $5. But you're not going to really make money off of it. So you want to kind of do your research and make sure that something is worth your time before picking it up. Now, of course, like as you go on reselling, you'll kind of just learn. Trust me, you will learn what is good quality, and you will learn how to pick things up. But especially at first, I would run comps and get to know your brands and get to know the value of those brands. This one is going to Colorado. I just realized I forgot to print off one of my labels, but I think I remember what that one sold for. Okay, so the next bit of advice I would say is to be willing to give out discounts. This is kind of a big one I'm going to go into, but I do want to show the next sale first before I get into that. This was a great sale. I'm very excited to sell this dress, and this is something I will pick up in the future. Never would have thought, I don't know why, but I never pick up Calvin Klein, you guys. But this is a evening gown by Calvin Klein, and it's this long maxi evening gown. I will insert a picture of what this looks like, because I did find a very good stock photo of this, but it does need to be lint rolled to be on the safe side. So while I'm doing that, we will talk about giving out discounts. So I know, like, for example, like my husband, some people have this mindset is, okay, like I paid the money for this, I spent time in this, I want this price, and I'm not gonna go with any other price, which I understand, and you can make money that way. And like I've said before, even like in the last video that I did, I want to get better about holding out, like, and making sure that I'm getting a good price for something and not just letting it go just to make that sale, if that makes sense. So don't think that I'm not for holding out to get a good price for something, because I am. But I'm talking about like just not sending out discounts. Let's say you list something for $30. You're not going to send out discounts. You're not going to like reach out to people, you know, okay. Because people are always looking for a good deal. So what I say to that is, like, just make sure that you list with the intentions of knowing you're going to have to give a discount on something. So like, let's say you want to make $20 from something, but instead of listing it for $20, list it for like 25 or 28. Like, leave room there for that discount that you're going to have to send out, especially on Poshmark. People's looking for a good deal. So just keep that in mind, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, that was another one I had to fold off camera because it is that maxi link. So for me personally, when I send out discounts, I used to do like a tier discount. So like, let's say you like one of my items, and I still do this. So don't get me wrong, I still do this. But lately I've been kind of lazy with it, and I've been doing it a different way. So you like an item, the first discount you're going to get is a 10% off with discounted shipping. Usually $4.99 shipping. And I'm talking about Poshmark here. And then after a couple of days, if that item has not sold, I will send out another batch of discounts on the items that need a higher discount, if that makes sense. And I'll go up to 20, and then I'll slowly build up over the course of days or even weeks, just depending on the item, and depending on like the amount of attention that item's getting. And that has brought in sales. But what I've been doing differently is I've been sending out 20% off at the very first, because you know, we're in a our nation right now, the economy, need I say anymore? I don't have to even go into it. You already know what I'm talking about. So people's looking for a better deal. So lately I have been sending 20% off with discounted shipping, and that being the first one that you receive. And I've noticed since I've been doing that and starting out with that, I've received more sales than when I was sending out the 10%. It's just not enough. I guess some people still make, you know, sales obviously with that. I mean, I did even with 10%, depending on what it was. This is going to Ohio, by the way. But I feel like that 20% offer really catches people. So that's something I would recommend on Poshmark. Now with Makari and eBay, it's different. I know like on eBay, I think you get to send out one offer, and then that person can counter. And if they don't, they'll never receive another offer. So that first offer that you send on eBay needs to be really good. It needs to be like, wow, they're sending me a good offer, because you can't send multiple ones like you do on Poshmark. And then Makari, I really do not like this, the whole system on Makari of sending out offers. I'm not even going to get into it, but with Makari, it's about the same as Poshmark, and I just slowly, you know, build up the amount of offer discount that I give out. Okay, so the last sale, and then we're going to talk about the last topic. This is actually a sale that I'm kind of glad to see this go, and I'm going to get into it. But this is a Good American t-shirt dress. I received this in a thread-up box, and this is new with tags, and I thought this was going to do really good. The comps on this look really great, but for some reason this thing just has not moved. It's not received much attention. It's just sat. And when I was looking yesterday, actually, at what I've made on the thread-up box, I haven't even broke even yet, but I do have quite a bit of items that are still for sale. And keep in mind, I've had that box for six months now. So a lot of the stuff is just setting. So when this, when I got a like on this today, I just kind of wanted to move it along. So I did send a hefty offer on it. I think I had it listed for 25, and I sent like a 25% or 30% off. And this sold for $18. I don't know the whole breakdown because I did not print the label for this one, but just know that my cost of goods on this was like $3. I thought it was $4 and something, but if I'm not mistaken, my cost of goods was $3.37 for each item in that thread-up box. So yeah, glad to see this go. And it's going to someone that's going to enjoy it. I mean, it's new with tags. And if I'm not mistaken, Good American Stuff retails for a pretty good bit of money. So let's talk about the last topic while I wrap this up. The last bit of advice I would give is to know your seasons. And what do I mean by that? Just kind of keep in mind seasonality when you're picking up stuff in the thrift store. Okay, like it's about to be spring, or like right now in March, we're about to go into prom season. We're about to go into wedding season. Where people's about to go on spring break. Keep that in mind when you're sourcing to know what to pick up. Also, trends. You need to kind of have at least like a small bit of an idea of what is trending, because not everything is going to be trendy, and not that it won't sell, you know, just like people talk about all the time, which I don't sell pants personally unless someone gives them to me and I will sell them. But, you know, people talk about all the time like, oh, skinny jeans are out, don't source them. But there's always going to be somebody that still wears skinny jeans. So yes, that item will probably still sell, even if it's out of date, even if it's out of season, even if it's, you know, not necessarily trendy, but it's going to take a while longer. And when you're starting out, you're kind of wanting to see, you know, what you put in, you know, the amount of money that you put in, your investment. You kind of want to see that money come back in pretty quickly so you can get new things, because you're trying to build a business. So it's best to know your seasons, not only with clothing and knowing what to pick up, but also the seasons of reselling. So the first of the year, you know, they call them like quarters. So there's like 4 quarters in the year. And that 4th quarter, everybody talks about it being so busy, and that's when you're going to get your most sales. I don't know about that. I'm going to have to just kind of experiment this year, because this Q4 for me was not that great, and I sourced things that I knew would sell for Christmas, blah, 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 blah. And I just found that it just wasn't that great. But Poshmark was going through some issues. That could have been what it was. But everybody talks about like Q4 being the best time of year. So for example, first of the year, keep in mind, people are spending tax money. They are spending Christmas money. And then, you know, starting towards like, you know, coming out of winter, people are wanting spring clothes. And then going into summer is a very slow time of year for resellers. They call it the summer slowdown. And what people say the reason for that is that, you know, people are going on vacation, they're spending their money elsewhere. And then going into like August, people are starting to go back to school, so they're getting new clothes. You see there's a pattern there. Just kind of keep up with your seasons. That way you can kind of be prepared and have things ready when that season comes around. So yeah, that is all of the topics I wanted to cover today. I'm sure I could sit here all day and just kind of tell other things that I've experienced and what to do's and what not to do's. But that just kind of gives like an overview of just some topics. I mean, some advice that I would give you if you're thinking about reselling. You know, just keep in mind, especially that one where I said it takes time and it takes energy. But I would say it's worth it. If this is something you have a dream to do, you want to sell clothes, you want to sell shoes, you want to sell knickknacks, you want to sell antiques. If it's worth it to you to put in the time and the energy, I feel like it's worth taking that chance to do. I do enjoy reselling. It's been a roller coaster, especially last year was a definite roller coaster for me. Like my sales were up and down, up and down, up and down. And it's still like that if I'm being completely honest. I don't know if it'll ever change. It'll always kind of be up and down like that. But I'm pretty inconsistent sometimes. I'm not always consistent with my listing, and, you know, and I feel like that's the beauty of reselling for me is I have the freedom to, you know, do what I need to do and still resell. But, you know, I still feel that kind of like that hurt when I'm not putting the time in. But yeah, anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that there. That was the last sale. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it gave you some kind of insight. Of course, if you're already a reseller and you've been reselling for like 20 some odd years, of course, all this advice was probably pointless to you. But if you have any other advice for new resellers that are maybe clicking on this video and they're wondering like, what in the world do I need to know? You know, especially if you're a seasoned reseller, please leave your feedback and your advice in the comments below, and, you know, help us out. We're all just trying to build this business, you know, and, you know, have a business where we can work from home. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Again, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.